I'm Michael McMain. I'm the CEO and founder of Xaviant and the creative director on Lichdom.
Let's start by talking a little bit about the gameplay experience and what your goals were heading into this title.
So our goal is to deliver what we believe is the first RPG where the mage is an unmitigated badass.
How are you guys doing that?
So when you look at how mages are typically delivered to players, they're not usually delivered by themselves. They're delivered with a choice, right? You can play a mage or a warrior or a rogue or that kind of thing. And when that happens, mages have constraints put on them, things like mana bars, cooldowns, that limit their abilities compared to the other classes options that you have. So we said, let's try removing all those. Let's take all those constraints away and just really give the player unlimited power to play with. And typically when people hear that, they say, well, the game's got to be easy then, right? Because if you have unlimited power and no mana, you can just go crazy. But we've crafted a challenging experience in the way the enemies behave and interact with you, and added skill-based components that give the player that ability to have risk and reward.
Can you talk about the world itself?
Yeah, so the world it's a dark fantasy world. We have a lot of different environments. We have snow-peaked mountains and underground areas and swamps and that sort of thing, a lot of diverse landscapes. It's built in CryEngine, which is a very beautiful engine, and we've really pushed hard the limits of that engine to give a look and a feel that's all our own.
What is the look and feel of this game for someone who has, for instance, the latest AMD hardware and has all the sliders all the way up high?
It's going to be very rich, very colorful, very dynamic.
When it comes to that technology, talk a little about Tress FX and how you're utilizing that within your characters.
So what we've done is you have the option of playing either a male or a female main character. And whichever you pick, you have a male or a female counterpart that's a support character that goes through the game with you and is part of the story. And that character has full Tress effects on the hair to make him or her look more interesting and dynamic.
What has that opened up from a visual perspective for gamers?
Well, it's kind of neat because, you know, when you look at having a conversation with an NPC, for example, that having that Tress effects just brings that character to life even more, right? They just look more vivid and more engaging. And part of our philosophy at Xaviant is we have this core fundamental philosophy of you will feel everything. So it's about suspension of disbelief, and Tress effects adds that. It gives you another level of realism that lets you, just get lost.
Can you talk a little bit more about the actual storyline of the game?
So the idea behind the game is called Lichdom Battlemage, and in the game, Lichdom refers to a main protagonist that you don't play, that's in the story. And this is a powerful entity that has been perpetuating himself through the ages. So let's imagine for a moment that if this was our history, imagine Genghis Khan, Napoleon, Julius Caesar were all secretly the same man, perpetuating himself through the ages, rising to power, being defeated, rising again. In this case, this main protagonist comes to the main character that you choose, a man or a woman, and gives you amazing power to be his agent to eliminate evil and bring the world again up to a position of true power.
Now, I've seen this game at other shows, including PAX East. You guys have had huge lines of people watching people play. Can you talk a little bit about that element, potentially, I guess, esports element as well?
Yeah, so that's something that's interesting that we didn't kind of expect, right? It's a first-person casting game, but we're kind of shocked at not only is it fun to play, but it's actually very fun to watch people play, very engaging. And we found that to be true in our internal playtest when we would pull players in from our community around where our studio is, and they would play, just how much fun it was to watch them play. So that was kind of an unexpected side effect for us.
When it comes to E3 2014, what are you guys talking about new for this game?
So the new things that we have from our alpha release, let me talk for a minute about our early access. So we've been in early access on Steam for about 12 weeks, and we've had 2 releases, Pre-Alpha 1 and Pre-Alpha 2. The alpha release, our content complete, is today. That's what we're showing today, and on Monday it goes live on Steam. And what we've added there is we've added a 3rd area that you're playing called the Maelstrom, which is this huge frozen whirlpool that you make your way to the bottom of. It's very epic and interesting to look at. And we've added a new boss, and we've added a new sigil, a new spell school, Lightning. And the interesting thing about that is we actually brought in members of our hardcore members of our community, and they designed that sigil. We've also added something called synergies, which are just these cataclysmic, epic moments that you can create as a player.